On this episode of The Road Chose Me, I get to Tai National Park and check out the world-famous chimpanzees deep in the jungle. Driving in the last few miles, I can't believe I've finally made it. This was my goal all along, and I slogged through those days of mud to get here. I can't wait to see what's actually inside this national park. I set up my campsite right at the entrance to the national park, and I organised with a guide to take me deep into the park first thing tomorrow morning. Walking to the massive lodge in the morning, I feel certain I've entered the set of Jurassic Park. The lodge is massive and really well built, though unfortunately, since the Civil War, Ivory Coast have really struggled to attract visitors. My guide tells me I'm only the second person to visit this month. In the park, it's possible to see chimpanzees, pygmy elephants, leopards, and much more. But it's the chimpanzees that I've especially come to see. These chimps are world famous because they pick up rocks and use them to smash open fruits that have fallen off trees. Researchers used to come from all over the world to observe these chimps. During the Civil War, a lot of regular citizens and army people made their homes inside this park. They would kill and even eat the chimpanzees that lived here, and so the chimps were actually very aggressive. My guide explains it took years to gain their trust and stop them from attacking him. If you want to know how vicious they are, he knows of one that was attacked by a leopard last year and it actually fought off the leopard. I'm curious to know how many pygmy elephants live in the park, but unfortunately my guide doesn't know. At the moment they're out counting them, and he said he does see them occasionally, but unfortunately they were hunted very close to extinction in Ivory Coast. Hiking into the park, I'm amazed how dense the jungle is and how alive all of the animals make it sound. We hike deep into the jungle for a couple of hours, with my guide stopping every now and again to listen to the noises, to look at broken twigs, and generally to see what's around. We pass a few monkeys, we see a few elephant footprints, but on the whole, there aren't too many big animals getting around. That is, until we spot some chimps high in the trees. From that moment on, the chase is basically on. This is the first glimpse we get of the chimps as they come down out of the trees and walk along the jungle floor. They yell to each other to let them know where they are, and one of the big males pounds on a tree to assert his dominance. I feel bad chasing the chimps like this, but my guide assures me it's okay. They just don't know me, and because I look different, they're a little bit wary, and so they want their distance. He says if we just stay with them, they'll eventually realise we're not trying to hurt them, and they'll sit down and do their thing, and they won't even mind if we watch. 2 or 3 times I catch a fleeting glimpse of the tail end just as they retreat into the forest, and my guide waves me forward to try yet again. I'm just starting to think we really should give up when they finally sit down and just allow us to watch. One of the chimps in particular seems perfectly happy to have me there, and in fact, judging by his face, I get the feeling he wants to show off and show me how he can use a rock. At one point, he gets distracted by something and looks away, and then when he looks back at me a few seconds later, I actually see relief on his face when he sees that I haven't moved at all. Then he's perfectly content to go back to smashing things open with his rock. difficult to believe that I'm sitting on the jungle floor this close to wild chimpanzees. They seem perfectly happy to have me there. It was quite the mission to get here to National Park Tai, and oh boy, was it worth it.